Alright, thank you very much once again for tuning into my channel. For today's video, we are doing the continuation of my favorites in my collection series, which has consisted of slabs, raws, signature series, that kind of stuff. So if you want to know what's coming up next in that series, stay tuned after this short video intro. Alright, welcome once again. Thank you very much for tuning into my channel. Comic Sniper here, along with my trusty sidekick Mark III, my lovable flying Iron Man, and together we're happy to bring you the next in my favorite series. Basically, I've done several videos in the past covering my favorite slab comics that I have in my collection, both DC and Marvel. I've also done some signature series, as well as just signed, my favorite signed books from different artists and whatnot. And then of course, my biggest part of my collection is raw books, like most people, and so I thought I might as well have broken that up into different segments and the different ages. So I've already covered Silver Age in one video, and that only means a progression into the Bronze Age next. And the Bronze Age covers everything from 1970 all the way to 1985. So these are going to be the books that mean something to me, and are my favorites in these collections. Hopefully, maybe they're in the same line as your favorites as well, or maybe there may be something different. Who knows? But definitely, thank you very much for tuning in, and let's get started with my 10 favorite Bronze Age books, starting in 1984. Arguably my favorite character of all the superheroes is Spider-Man, and this is the Amazing Spider-Man number 252, first appearance of the black costume. Gave him a lot of depth when they did this to this character. Some people might have been old school and kind of resented it a little bit, but I think most people came around and definitely enjoyed this time of his existence, being in the black costume. And then of course now he's back to the old classic costume as we know him from before, right? But definitely this gave him a lot of depth, and great time in having him in the black costume, and this is the first time he appears in that. So that's why this is coming in at number 10. Alright, so moving along, number 9 in my collection is my favorite team of all time, is the Uncanny XMen. And this one is I believe 1980. Okay, coming in at 1980. This is Uncanny XMen number 129. Why this is my favorite is because there's a ton of there's a lot of first appearance of this, most notably Kitty Pryde's first appearance, as well as Emma Frost, the White Queen, Sebastian Shaw, I believe the Hellfire Club as well. So lots of good things coming off of this one issue. So that very significant in the Marvel universe, the X-Men universe, and I feel it's very underrated. So I feel this book has a lot more to offer, and every time I have a chance to pick this book up for a really good price, I will, because I feel that this is one of those sleeper books that still needs to. It is getting recognition, but not enough compared to the significance of all the first appearances it has in this one. So that's why this comes in at number 9. All right, moving right along. Number 8, again, my favorite character comes back, and we are at Amazing Spider-Man 194. This is a 1979 book, and the significance of this issue is right there. Of course, this is the first appearance of the Black Cat, Felicity Hardy, and with the two of them together has always been, I feel, is one of the great team up kind of relationships in the comic book genre. So you know, they seem to have such a great chemistry, how they've written them, two of them together. So that's why it definitely, and I agree, you know, I feel that their chemistry together is goes a long way, and it's one of my favorites to read as well. So yeah. All right, and this is if I haven't said so, this is 1979, and yeah, this book has definitely been sought after as well, but more to come, because it's of course Felicia, or sorry, the Black Cat is definitely she's supposed to be getting her due on the big screen, along with Silver Sable. So look out for that. And that comes in at number 7. And then number 6, moving right along. This one should definitely be doesn't need any introduction. Star Wars #1, right? So 1977, right, when the big breakthrough of Star Wars came on the scene. And this retells the story, right? This is Star Wars #1. Of course, this is their first appearance in the Marvel Universe, and always sought after, always a big hit. And you know, still looking for a really good copy. This is not bad. You know, I don't need to. This is staying in my collection unless I get a better copy, per se. But this one's pretty high grade, except for there's a pretty, you know, crack right there, and that breaks color. So aside from that, actually this book has is in quite the good shape. So that's why I always look for this copy. But this is my best one to date. Until I get another one, I'll probably just keep this one in my collection. All right, moving right along. This is number, what did I say, 6, right? And by the way, if so I'm in the Vancouver area, and right now we are experiencing some really good heat wave. I don't know about you guys, but I don't complain when it's hot. There's too much. I would rather take the heat than the cold. That's just personally, right? But yeah, hopefully you guys are having dealing with the heat in a great way. Maybe jump in the pool, swim in the lake, you know, find an air-conditioned place to spend the rest of the day, having your good drinks and so forth. All right. And then, okay, so we are down to number 5. We are going to be halfway there. Back to my favorite team, and featuring another one of my favorite teams. And like I said, coincidentally, since I just said I'm from Canada, this is the first appearance of Alpha Flight, the first all Canadian team. And this is in the XMen 120. And this is, of course, 1979 was when this book came out. So really good team. With the almost 100% acquisition of Fox by Disney, right? We've pretty much sealed the deal already. It just needs to, I think, pen to paper is everything that needs to come down. All the voting and that kind of stuff. There's more to come, but this really opens the door for Alpha Flight to really have a chance to make it on the big screen, and I think that's just going to be a great thing. I can't wait for that to happen. If Disney ever puts that to good use, so maybe even just on Netflix, right? That would be pretty cool too. So I'd be all over that. But yeah, this will definitely make it to my. That's why this book definitely makes it to my top 10, and that comes in at halfway point, number 5. Okay, time to cheat a little bit, because number 6. Sometimes books can't really be split up. They just kind of go together. Okay, case in point, my 1973 this is Amazing Spiderman 121. This is the issue where death of Gwen Stacy. Spoiler alert if you don't already know that. And right behind it, is the Amazing Spider-Man 122, which is the death of the Green Goblin. As you can see, after Gwen Stacy dies, of course, Spider-Man tries to avenge her, you know, and so forth, but he ends up killing himself, right? But this is back-to-back death of two characters. You know, hasn't happened before in the Marvel universe and in the superhero genre, so that's why. And these books are definitely sought after. They pretty much command about the same as far as value is concerned. Maybe the 121 edges a little bit more, but definitely they usually, you'll see a lot of times these two come in as a pair, and definitely, yeah, it's basically bookends, and that's why this comes in at number 6. All right, and did I say 1973? 1973. That's when these two came up. Okay. All right, so we're booking right along here, and then 1975. Let me just double check my 1975. This one came along again. My favorite team busted onto the scene on continuation of their title of the X-Men, coming in all new, all different. This is X-Men number 94, right? Second appearance of the team, first in their own title. You know, I love this book. It's one of the books I was really looking for when I was younger, and always had a special place in my heart. So that's why this definitely has to come in, and it's definitely one of the books that I always have to have in my collection. So that's why this comes in at number 6. 1, 2, yeah. Always just checking, because I got so many things running through my head. Anyways, moving along to number 7. So we're coming down to the wire, and of course that could be a sister one to that, but this one, of course, right, is the giant size X-Men number 1. And by the way, this is 1975. This is not a slab book. Remember, we're featuring raw copies, right? I just keep it in the in an old. I cracked open a book out of an old slab. This is an old CBCS slab, and then so I just use it, since it didn't get wrecked. I just use it to keep this book protected. I don't right at this point, I don't feel like slabbing this book, so while it's in my possession, I figured I might as well utilize the case. That's why it's on there. But getting back to this book, why it's number 7 on my list, of course, my favorite team, the X-Men, and this is my favorite rendition of the X-Men, which is this team. The first time they all showed up, first Colossus, first Storm, first Nightcrawler, first God, every time it's a Thunderbird, and then second for Wolverine, right? Second full appearance. So that's why, and of course this is a grail for most people, including myself. So of course this has to be within the top 3 favorites of my in my collection. And like I said, I probably would slab this. I have a couple of copies of this, so one of these I'll probably end up slabbing, just to hedge in case something, because like I said, Fox is basically Disney's property, and when this busts on the scene, the value of this is just going to skyrocket. That's just the way it is. So, and then who knows? I might take advantage of that. I might not. But I will. To be determined. Okay, and we'll let you know. Okay, so 7 now, 2 more to go. So second last one on my top Bronze Age list. Of course, should not be surprised. This is on top of most people's list. And again, my favorite character. It's an Amazing Spider-Man number 129, but it is the first appearance of Frank Castle, the Mr. Punisher himself. That's why this book is a grail for a lot of people, including myself. This is one of my grails as well. It took me a very long time to find a good one in a good price range. So yeah, and this one is in pretty good shape. Again, this is not slabbed. As you can see, it doesn't have a label. I'm just using an old slab case, since I was able to liberate that book. I can't remember what book it was. I was able to liberate it, and then without actually destroying the case. So why not? In time when I do have one of these already, just came back from grading, and I believe I got a 3.5 out of that one. So pretty happy with that. That one was a raffle win, and I only paid $40 for that copy. So you know, even a 1.0, I'm still ahead. But yeah, I was really happy with that grade. But this one is a little bit higher. This one will probably be around 4.5-ish, 5, maybe even 6. I can't remember. I'd have to re-inspect it. But yeah, it's a little bit higher grade, so I'm not really interested in selling it anytime soon. But that's why I have the lower one graded, just in case I do, because of course, as we know, he has his own Netflix series. He's already gone through season 1. Really good character. When he came on the scene on Daredevil, really almost stole the show. And then of course his own series really did a bang up follow-up job. I can't wait for season 2. So really happy to that he's getting his due. So the Punisher. So yeah, this is number 2 on my list. And then did I say 1974? I'm not sure if I said that, but if I didn't, this is a 1974, so definitely within the Bronze Age series. Okay, so number 1 in that is going to be another 1974. Let's start off with the date, so in case I don't forget. And of course, it has to do with Wolverine. It's the Incredible Hulk number 180. It's the first cameo appearance of Wolverine, and again, this is just the case. There's no, it's not a slab. Okay, and yeah, this is a very hot book. But of course, I'm showing this. This is not actually number 1. You would call this number 1A. Because they kind of go in like just like 121 and 122. The sister to this book is the one that's really sought after, which is a Hulk 181. Check it out. First appearance of my man, Mr. Canadian himself, the Wolverine, Logan, right? And this is his first full appearance. The one that's the holy grail for a lot of people, and I'm definitely in that camp. So that's why this comes in at number 1 for my Bronze Age beauties, my favorite. And anytime I can show this book off, you know, I'm all over it. And like I said, this is 1974. Both of these, and they kind of go hand in hand. Really happy to be able to get these two, because they're just, you know, they're just taken off in value. Both of these are not, you know, they're not in the best, like super high grade, you know, like I see a lot of people that, and that's fine. To me, they're the grade on these is, I'm happy with that. But what's more important is they are fully complete. Which has the MVP Marvel Value Stamp, MVS stamp. The books are not only complete, but they're also attached at the staple, both the cover and centerfold. So those are important things, and of course they're free from rust, the staples. and very presentable still, right? That's regardless of whether there's creases or not, it's still definitely very presentable and very sought after. Right. So that is my top 10. Okay, but let's I want to also give a couple of honorable mentions to a few that it's not gonna make it here in the top 10, but definitely deserves a little bit of spotlighting because they have some significance. Definitely I'll give an honorable mention to the Savage She-Hulk #1. This is her first appearance. This is in 1980, and this is one of Stan Lee's. This is as far as I know, this is Stan Lee's last collaboration as far as story writing. So this does have significance to it, and hopefully we'll see her in on the screen sometime in the future. I think she would make a good character on the screen. Definitely, I'm not sure if she would actually hold up to her own movie. We kind of learning from, you know, the Hulk after how many movies that he's they might not be a great character on their own. As a supporting character to, let's say, A-Force or you know, showing up in another Avengers, that kind of stuff, I think she would definitely add a lot to going on the big screen. So that's why she deserves an honorable mention. And I'll just give one more before we close this out, and that is the Marvel Superhero Secret Wars #8. Kind of start on the black suit and end on the black suit. And the significance of this book, of course, this is the first time we see the symbiote, and we learned that this is an alien you know, being that that is his costume, and then yeah, and really hard to get. And this book, for me anyways, in like super high grade, there's something about this orange that fades really easy. I find that, you know, the upper and bottom, they're really hard to get in whatever shade this is. Usually you want that same shade to go right up to the top, but usually since the top you know, is stored for the most part, it gets faded, or the bottom for whatever reason. So sometimes it's very hard to find this book. Anyways, that's what I found out. But there are some really high grades out there. I definitely seen that. But for me, I haven't acquired it. But this one, actually, I got this one at a record store. I found it. They had some comics in some bins, and I went digging through there and found this one. Only paid a couple dollars for it. So yeah, very happy for that. I didn't pay that much for it, and it's definitely a big key issue and a great story to be able to read. So all right, and that's why it's worth an honorable mention in my top 10 Bronze Age comics, raw comic books. And then, so of course we'll put the #1 back up because that's why he's #1. Ta-da! All right, so again, thank you very much for sticking with me through this another edition of favorites, and then the next one will probably go into the Copper Age, and then of course modern as well. But yeah, appreciate everybody for tuning in. I also want to give a special shout outs to my newest subscribers, and by doing so, I like to put their names on the screen, just to give you know, just to give my appreciation. And if you want your name on future videos, no biggie. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel, and that's it. And then at some point in the future, keep an eye out, because your name will be appearing on the screen as well. All right, and of course, please don't forget to like this video if you enjoy it, and as well, so you don't miss any of my future videos, especially in the series. you might want to go ahead and hit that notification bell again. Ring that notification bell. That'll keep you informed. And of course, always leave your comments down below, because hey, let's get the party started. Tell me which ones you like. Tell me what if you agree with my favorites as well, or if you have other favorites that in your collection that you might want to give light of day to. Hey, I'm always open to hearing about them. Love to see whether other people's are different or the same in my collection as well. So yeah, so make sure you leave your comments down below. And of course, while we're at it, right, we're gonna also add, of course, some links to my other favorites. I'll put some links down here, and of course somewhere up here probably. So click on any one of those and that'll take you to my other favorites list videos already as well. Okay, so this is it for me, Comic Sniper, along with my trusty sidekick Mark III, signing off. Thank you very much for joining me and making sure that when you guys collect your favorite, whether that be in any age, silver, bronze, or modern, make sure you enjoy the hunt. All right, thank you very much for now. Bye bye.